Hi, all. It's Jan of the Jan Files, looking a little raggedy here. Sorry. Um, Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have been spending the last couple of days just trying to figure out what it is that I need to talk about. And it's the Iran war. And I'm like, well, what can I bring to this conversation? And I think, as usual, it's just going to be the facts, which I'm sure many of you know. But let's get really clear. We don't have a coherent stated reason for bombing Iran. There is no coherent reason to bomb Iran. Hegseth and other congressional Republicans have been saying, oh, well, they have killed many Americans. It's like, where? What? What are you talking about? They've killed many Americans. Iran, that makes no sense. Certainly in the past decade. I mean, I don't know about any terrorist attacks that have killed Americans, but there's nothing on the scale that would warrant this kind of response, including not only taking out their leader, but also killing 165 girls, as well as bombing a hospital. Those are war crimes. Now, I've gotten I've gotten some kickback from people going, oh no, the Iran state media said themselves that they bombed the girls' school. Well, no, not right. And it's a little confusing because there's actually Radio Gilan, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Gilan, and then there's another version of that by, quote, the dissenters. And the dissenters are the one against the Iranian government, and they are the one who's put out, not Iran state media, that Iran, the IRGC, were the ones who blew up the school. The state media has not said that. So that's point one. Point two is we've been told we don't have boots on the ground. That is an utter lie. There are 8 American bases in the Middle East. We have 40 to 50,000 American service people there. 40 to 50,000. They are on the ground. And that is included in that term. Okay, it's not just when you go to somebody else's country, but it's when you are in harm's way. And they are absolutely in harm's way, and we've already lost 6 Americans. And we can all expect that number is going to go up dramatically. For what? For what? Is it just a distraction from Epstein? No, I think that's part of it, but I think there's a lot more going on within the Middle East, behind closed doors, that we don't know about. And that some of what has been happening with them giving him a big ass jet and, all the other things that Trump is doing with Qatar, however you say it, and within the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, they're almost looking for the United States to come in as their military arm. Now, I'm saying that because that's what I think. And when you read Al Jazeera and The Guardian and BBC, you get a really different viewpoint about a lot of this. And that's what I've taken from it. Take that for what it's worth. I think it's absolutely part of the distraction, but I also think there are other factors in here. And then, of course, it is about Netanyahu. Now, I don't know if Netanyahu has something on Trump, but whatever it is, Netanyahu is a monster. The Israeli people aren't monsters, just like us. Trump is a monster. Most of us are not monsters, but we're going to suffer just like the Israeli people are because our leaders are not genuine and because they're lying, and because they have no legitimate reason to go to war with Iran. They do not have nuclear capability, which was told to Donald Trump before they bombed him 7 months ago. After they bombed him, Trump came out, oh, we've ended their nuclear capability. All of a sudden, 7 months later, it's back again. And the other part of it is the missiles. They say, well, they were on the verge of having missiles that could, enter the U.S. No, that's not true. According to the Defense Intelligence Agency's assessment, thank you, in 2025 was they were decades away from that. Decades. So this, Netanyahu has wanted to do this for forever. And he, just like Trump, is in trouble, political trouble in Israel. And he's also corrupt, like Trump, and, is supposed to go on trial when he finally leaves office. So there's a lot of things about all that has happened that is horrifying, that shows that we have no reason to be there, and that we're putting our service people in harm's way. Now, the other part of this is, I'm just checking my notes. Iran is not a small little country. They have a lot of missiles, folks. We don't know how many. They also have a huge army. This is not like going to Venezuela, folks. They have they not only have the state army, which is the IRGC, they also have the BSAIG. I don't know how to say that. Those are the ones who have been primarily killing the protesters. And they have, quote, like the regular army. Now, depending on where you get the numbers from, I've seen as high as they have 1 million soldiers. 1 million. Now, we only have about 2.3 million. Think about the sizes of our countries. And then think about that Trump is telling them to lay down their arms. Like somehow they're all of a sudden going to, figure out that they've been doing this all wrong, and they're going to lay down their arms and allow democracy to walk through the door. It's not happening. In my opinion, it's never going to happen this way. The people that were protesting had a far greater chance of, making change with our support in other ways, or God forbid we hadn't fucked up the agreement that Obama put in place where we could go in and see what they were doing. We can't do any of that now. And so not only have we probably stopped the protest movement, but we have put this all back years, decades, by doing what we just did. We've also created a lot of enemies. Or I should say Trump has created a lot of enemies for all Americans. And we're going to feel the brunt of that, folks. Don't be naive. This idea that this is going to be over in 4 or 5 weeks is nonsense. Unless we go to a ceasefire and there's negotiations. But that's where we were before we did all this. We were negotiating, and many people say they were very close, and everybody was shocked when we bombed them. So, as always, things aren't what they're telling you. And then on top of that, the fact that there are some Democrats that are applauding this is disgusting, because they're not thinking. They're just thinking we got rid of a bad guy. Well, you know what? Another bad guy is going to put his ass in that chair. It's not going to be a woman. It's going to be another bad guy in that head of Iran. So this is ludicrous. And the fact that there are Democrats out there, Fetterman is just an asshole. I don't know where his head is up his ass. It's like permanently up there. So we're going to ignore him. But there are other Democrats that are saying, yes, I'm not going to vote for the War Resolutions Act. I support what President Trump done. Are you fucking nuts? Learn your history. Learn your history of the Iraq War, of Desert Storm, the Iraq War, the Afghan War went for 20 years. Do you know how many thousands of Americans died in these wars? Do your history, folks. You know, these people applauding it because we're supposedly helping Israel. We're not helping Israel. I think Israel now is its own worst enemy because of Netanyahu. I support I support Israel's right to exist, as I also support the Palestinians' right to exist and to their own state. So this is a clusterfuck. I'm disgusted with some of those Democrats. I think it's really important, another case of get the facts, spread the facts, get the facts, spread the facts. You know, people say to you, we don't have any boots on the ground. Yes, we do. We have 40 to 50,000 boots on the ground in 8 bases and some other locations within the Middle East. And they have not been, quote, killing Americans. So, anyway, this is where we're at. Each day is another disaster. So in these kinds of times, just focus on the things that bring you joy and happiness, even if it's for, 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there and 5 minutes there, because we have to stay strong. We have to be present. And we have to make sure that we're doing every single thing we can. And March 28th, we need to make sure that every single person we know, as long as they're bodily capable, should be out there protesting. Take care. Follow me on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so when I post something else, I'm going to try to post more often, but we'll see. Okay? Take care. Stay safe.